Yo, what's up, gamers? Uh, I was in bed, but I got a bunch of notifications about some crazy updates that just came out. About some really awesome stuff. So we're just gonna go through some bits and bobs, and just talk about it, right? So the first thing that got announced from a new Maple post is the release of the global MapleStory microsite for MapleStory New Age. You see here, this is the 6-job stuff. And the first major important part of this is you can see here that 6-job and the Hexa Matrix is available on November 28th. Now, we were all kind of expecting it to be available on the start, so the 15th. But this is basically what Korea did, where they had the hype burning event first and all of the Identisk things, and then they put 6-job out like a couple patches later. So we're basically copy-pasting Korea's patch cycle with this, which is interesting, because usually we don't, and we do our patches in 2 cycles instead of 3. But this is cool to see. There's also a bunch of information here about like how the Hexa Matrix works, some bits about like how the stat works, origin skills, and then how to get like soul order, soul fragment, soul like power, that kind of stuff. They also give us the date on Identisk. So Identisk is November 15th, which confirms that New Age is on November 15th, along with the hyper burning, which is very nice to see. And then a bunch of quality of life changes as well. So the Osring change, daily experience change, level adjustments, level changing, the curve changing, all of that stuff is also arriving on November 15th, which is very, very nice. Very, very nice. We then also have the part 2 of the patch, which is on December 13th, right? And this has, here it says Carcion, Arteria, Abyssal Expedition, and then the new difficulties and more. A lot of stuff with this. I imagine that Carcion will come at a later date than December 13th. I imagine Arteria will be December 13th. And Carcion will be on, say, I don't know, early January or something. I doubt they do both of them at the same time, because that would be kind of crazy. But another super, super crazy that we need to talk about is the Maple memo on the world selection reorganization and a new world. So this post is written by Mjolnir and the MapleStory team. Mjolnir is one of the Nexon staff. But there is some super, super crazy stuff in here. But to just run it down as like a sort of thing, you can probably see these highlighted words already. But blah, 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 blah. As MapleStory gets very, very popular, very, very pog, when new people join, they want to make it easier to distinguish what kind of world is what, right? Because they want different playstyles from the different worlds, clearly not presented. Therefore, we would like to share with our upcoming plans to improve the experience around world selection with an updated world selection screen that will more clearly present the different gameplay experiences offered in MapleStory. So basically, they're going to make more of a distinction between Regserver and Reboot, is what that reads to me. Since changes can take time, they're going to do this progressively. At the start, this will be done by giving our existing Reboot worlds in North America and Europe their very own names, which is cool. Just like our other worlds, starting with New Age on November 15th. North American Reboot will be named to Reboot Kronos. Now, Kronos is a Greek titan of time. I know that much because I played Smite, and I also read the Percy Jackson books when I was a kid. I don't know what Solus refers to. I can imagine that Solus is some sort of sun aspect or something, because Luna is like obviously a moon element, so Solus is probably something like that. So North America, NA, are going to have Kronos, and Europe are going to have Solus. I really like this name, Solus. I'm still going to call it EU Reboot, right? It's like how I still call bright cubes and glowing cubes like reds and blacks, right? I'm still going to call it EU Reboot, but Solus is very cool. As we move towards our naming for these two worlds, players can build a better sense of identity and connection to the world they're part of. Yeah, it's very cool. It's like, this might not make sense to a lot of people, right? But with Luna, we used to have Kradia and Demethos, and it was cool to have that sort of distinction between our different worlds. Additionally, we are excited that we will be opening a new world in the North American region, offering the same Reboot gameplay experience. So this is basically Reboot 2. With anticipation and excitement of the New Age update arriving soon, we felt this was a great time to introduce a new world, especially for those returning to the game or just starting out. This new world will be named Reboot Hyperion, which is also a Titan, I believe. And that will help give new and existing players an opportunity to start fresh on an even playing field. So what they're saying here is this is a start fresh server, similar to what Lost Ark did recently in the West, where they called it Jumpstart, right? Where they made like a new fresh server with like their equivalent of hyperburning, like the Makoko Pass, and then a bunch of other like cool stuff, right? So we're getting a Reboot 2. Which is kind of interesting. They mentioned here it'll be an even playing field. I guess that's because there'll be a lack of like existing legacy, like pot badges and things like that. But the Abyssal Expedition part of the New Age update may or may not have a Legion block. So we'll see how that goes. Which is pretty cool. In the second phase, early 2024, we will clarify the gameplay experiences players can expect in each world and finalize all remaining changes. Basically, they'll change the names for the existing, because currently it's going to be Reboot Hyperion and Reboot Solus, right? And they'll eventually change that to just Kronos and Solus, and then Hyperion will be the new world. But yeah, this is really cool. This is really, really cool. It will kind of help solve a like middle population bloated maps, right, in NA Reboot, which is kind of cool. I don't know, I don't play NA Reboot, right? I play EU, so this, for me, this change is just like changing the name, which is pretty cool. But for NA, like getting a second Reboot is very cool, and it'll be really interesting if people actually want to like either restart from Reboot 1 into Reboot 2, or if they just carry on. But really, really cool aspect here. Really, really cool thing. Really nice to see, like, Nexon actually trying to do something, right? I think this is cool. I think this is really cool. But yeah, this is just a little update video on these two things. And now I'm going back to bed. Good night, cuties. Have an enjoyable rest. I'm going to sleep. It's probably midday for most of you, right? Or, like, evening. But enjoy the rest of your day. Much love. Bye-bye.